Good morning, it's Charlene, one half of the Flights of Fancy Stitchers. Today is the 3rd of December and it's about 8:15. I'm coming until a little bit later in the day than I had planned, but I had some hiccups with my 30 minutes of stitching and I had a couple phone calls and just my morning just got crazy before I even knew it. So you think you're going to get a lot done when you get up at 4:30 in the morning, but you really don't. You have to make time for coffee. Just saying. All right, so last week's video, Morgan was here for the holiday with her boyfriend. Had a great visit, celebrated Christmas early, got some amazing gifts. I forgot to grab one of the ones that she gave me, but I will give you a teaser. It is a piece of artwork that she found at one of the Ren fairs out in Kansas. I think it was in Kansas. She might have went into Missouri. I'm not sure. One of the two. And it's a piece of artwork that I have wanted to stitch for several years, and she was able to find the actual artwork because the stitching is no longer available. And of course I neglected to grab it. So I will bring that to you next video. In fact, I will write it down right now so I remember to get it to show you next time. Okay, I don't know if I said it or not, this is video number 148. And I was able to watch a little bit of Flosstube yesterday while I was cutting out quilt blocks for Christmas presents. I will put their links down below. But I watched Sarah, Stitchin' Mommy, Helen with East Coast Crafter, Darren, Dizzy Stitcher, Kim Hollenbeck, and or Hollenbeck. I forget what her Instagram name is, but I know that she has both presences. She's also with Full Coverage Fanatics. And I watched Mandy. So still not caught up. Oodles and oodles away from being caught up, but hey, at least I got to enjoy seeing some lovely stitching from all those great people. Here is my current ornament. You will see when I show you my projects why there's so much light on the top as we get into it. So I'm so happy with this. I still haven't decided on what I'm going to do for 25's ornament, whether I'm going to just use one that I have or what I'm going to do, but I'll figure it out. So the first thing I want to show you is the new start that Sis and I done while she was home. We found these patterns on Etsy, and Tam Stitches, T-A-M, all capitals, Stitches, was the name of the company, and they had a really good sale over the holiday, and so we decided to do these as a start together. I picked this one because I love Dr. Seuss. I love anything Dr. Seuss, and the town from Horton Hears a Who, or Whoville, either one of those. I love the goofy wonky houses, and they really speak to me, and this reminded me of something that you would see in a Dr. Seuss show. Yes, it is full coverage. No, I didn't need another one. It's only 200 by 200, so it's not like ginormous. And I'm not ordinarily a pink person, but like I said, this just really spoke to me. So that was the one that was the one that she downloaded for me. And then she decided on a mushroom, what was it called? Mushroom Village, Mushroom Houses, Fairy Mushroom Houses, something along those lines. It's very muted, very light. It's beautiful, beautiful piece. So hopefully she will show that in her next video. So, numbers. I finished off November with 10,506 stitches. I had no finishes, and I had the one new start, which brings my whip count up to 101. For the month so far, I am at 656 stitches. That doesn't count what I stitched this morning on my 30. And For the year, I am at 120,432. That was as of last night. So 130 is very doable as long as I stay the course. So I finished up my 100-day challenge. I have touched all 100 of my projects for the year, which I am absolutely beyond thrilled with myself for keeping my goal and keeping the course. The very last one I will show you, which this is one of definitely in my top 5 favorite projects. Again, why is it not done? I am talking about roasted chicken and potatoes. Love this one. And this one was my last spin on the first. I put in 120 stitches, and I had some tweeting over here with a pink and a white, and then I picked up this blue right here and put in quite a few stitches. So again, it's just literally this bottom half here and it would be done. I substituted the beads, or excuse me, the French knots for beads throughout, which I love. And yes, I do know how to do French knots, and my French knots are not ugly. I just preferred the way that beads give it a little bit of extra. So that's just me. All right, next up, oh, I didn't show you the new start. Well, we chose, I'm pretty sure we decided on 16 count. And this is my very meager start. I am missing, of course, Murphy's Law, the big main amount of color. It's that turquoise 953, I believe. But I was able to put in 40 stitches to get it started. So Morgan, poor thing, here's some of the color palette too. Her piece started out, she had, I think she said 300 stitches of white. Not fun. So, but anyway. Okay, next up, I worked on the second to the last day was my Spring Queen. And I don't know if I'm enjoying it. I think a lot of it is the color palette. I am not a yellow person at all. And so I'm kind of driving the struggle bus on this one. This is a piece of fabric that I had dyed for this. It's kind of a bluish green. And of course I did a center start. And I put in 110 stitches. And I think this one's either 16 or 18 count too. So I already had this part of her dress in. So here's some more of her dress and then starting on one of the leaves or flowers in her dress. So not a lot, but I touched it, and this is one of these that because I blew it up on, took it in and had them put it essentially on, oh my gosh, blueprint. So, I mean, it's blown up like if you, the size like if you were going to have a blueprint for a house. I mean, it's a huge piece of copy paper that they put it onto. So it's very easy to read. It's much nicer, but because it is so big, I need to set at the kitchen table to work on it. I can't work on it in the living room when I'm watching football or some such. So, and no, it doesn't have a project bag. So I need to, when I pull it out, I need to say, okay, I'm setting at the dinner table, like, so I have room to work on it. Let's see. Last one that got pulled, and I actually pulled this one the day I think that we did our video. This was on the 29th. This was I Will Always Be a Wildflower. And I received this from a fellow stitchy friend. You know who you are. Thank you so much. And this one is all specialty threads. This is a piece, I don't know if which one of us dyed this one. Yeah, that's about true. And hi Snoopy, are you coming to say hi to the peoples? So I already had the cream done, and so I worked on these two colors here and then the dark up and around in the center of the flower, and I put in 132 stitches. So that allowed me, no, this one doesn't have a bag either. That allowed me to touch all of my 100 projects. All of them received 100 or more stitches except for one, and that one received 78 stitches. And the only reason that that one was short was because I was short on time that day. And that was back almost at the very beginning of doing the challenges. The 30 minutes a day that I was working on until the end of the month was my wave star, and that's how far I got, for a total of 2,095 stitches from the 16th through the 30th of November. So I brought this round on down, and then of course I worked up in here. This one probably won't come back out again until its anniversary date, which, if memory serves me, its anniversary date is, I can't remember if it's the 31st. It's later in December. So you guys will see that again before the, or it will get touched again before the end of the year. And then the next spin, my basket is empty now. My spin for December 1st through the 15th is in my poppy bag. And I have the hard copy and I have the pattern keeper version of this one. And this is Trance. I'm doing this one as an homage to my dad. And like I said, I already worked on this one this morning. This is 18 count, just a piece of white fabric. It is incredibly stiff and unpleasant to work on. So we have ugly discussions pretty much every day, but it'll loosen up. It just takes time. So I decided that I'm going to treat this one like I did the dragonfly clock, and I'm going to get as far across the top as I can. Today I went past 100, so I'm a fifth of the way across it, because it's 500 and, well, not quite a fifth. It's 525 stitches wide. So that's where I'm at so far. And so far I've put in, I think, let's do some quick math. 356 stitches. So I'm happy with it. I'll be glad when I can get down and see some different colors. I was watching a new Flosstuber, and for the life of me I cannot remember her name. 50 needles, 50, I can't remember what her Flosstube name is. This has been a month or so ago I watched her, but she has like a huge swath of this done, and it's just, it makes me want to get it finished so bad. It's definitely a beautiful piece. So that is what all I worked on since we filmed on, when did we film? On Friday? Saturday? I don't know what day we filmed on. Anyway, as far as my plans moving forward, I have a couple of Christmas projects that I want to try and knock out for family members. I don't know if I will be able to be successful in getting them done because I can only work on them when they're not home. And Dalton will be home in 2 weeks. I don't know if I can get the one that I want to finish for him done in that time. That was the eagle that I showed you guys. There's a lot, and the lot meaning there's a lot of backstitch on it. I'm going to try. I normally don't give Christmas presents to friends, and I found out yesterday that I give birthday presents. I am a big fan of birthdays, but not so much Christmas. You know, I kind of reserve for my family. And I found out yesterday that I have a really good friend that is making me something absolutely stunning. And that being said, I want to reciprocate, and I want to, do something nice. And I had pulled out a project last night and I worked on it. I didn't grab it because I didn't get a whole lot into it because I was watching the football game. But I was like, oh, I can knock this out in a couple weeks. There's just too much. There's no way that I can get it done. So I'm going to take another course and come up with another plan of something that is realistic that I can get done and get in the mail and get to her in time for a gift. So that's where I'm at with that. I think that's all of it. Are you wanting out? Or are you wanting to talk to the peoples? I think she wants out. I've got over half of my Christmas cards sent out. Did that on Monday. Got letters to write in the remaining half dozen or dozen or so. Didn't have very many to send this year. Kids made it back to Kansas fine. No troubles. Good roads, good weather. Dalton's back at school. Preston's busy with work. Got his truck back. Had to have some work done on his truck, but it's back. As in truck, lowboy truck, big truck, not pickup truck. So he's busy with work, and he won't be taking any time off now until we get closer to our vacation. So he's building up his time. And it's perfectly normal for him to work. I can count literally on one hand how many Christmases he hasn't worked since he's been with the state, because if it snows, it snows. A friend of mine was like, how he can't work on Christmas. It's like, you still need to be able to drive. You still need to be able to go places. A lot of people take that for granted. I think that's all I have. I should be able to come to you next week. Preston might be on night shift, but if he is, then I'll just film after he goes to work. Once Dalton comes home, it will depend upon what schedule he has and then what shift Preston is on, when and if I'm able to film. So no promises in that regard, but I know for sure that I will be back to you next week. And I mean, worst case scenario, I take a month off and come back to you in January after everybody's back on school and work. We'll see. It will work out. I don't think I have much else to say. Looking around the table, making sure I showed you guys everything. I think I'm good. So I'm going to wish you a wonderful day and a wonderful week. And like I said, I will be back to you next week. And until then, just remember to be kind. Bye, guys.